They wanted him to do a blood sacrifice of those two children. And then also give up my mother to an elder of the Masonry as a wife. Okay. And because of that, he committed suicide.
Now, my father, just to explain quickly, he was not just a Freemason, he was also the Grand Master of a Saturn lodge, which is called Fraternitas Saturni, amongst other lodges, which had its origin way back and were quite popular in Germany at some time in the 50s and 60s, pre-war time as well. So some of those lodges were not knowingly, they were more like secret lodges, some of them. And some of them were known from the Second World War. So, for example, Adolf Hitler wanted to be a part of it. There's a Fog Lodge, which I shouldn't really mention, but I do, which consisted of 99 members, and it was a very, very dark lodge.
What did they do? They firebombed their shops. My grandfather was involved in it. All right. Well, what they didn't realize was that one family was actually having a house remodeled, and they decided to stay in the apartment above the shop.
Oh, God.
All right. They firebombed the shop, and the entire family was killed, including 4 children.
It was very strange. I went into the university and to visit him, and I was really surprised that he was talking about Aleister Crowley in one of his talks to students. So that was, which I thought was, wow, that's quite an unusual lecture.
They weren't after my father; they were after me. Okay. And that's what my mother told my father. They said, because of the bloodline, they were wanting to court your son, Bill, not you. Okay. They wanted to get their hooks into your son. And I overheard that, and I asked questions about it, but my mother wouldn't tell me. And that was because they didn't want, anything to happen to my grandmother. All right. So after that, she told me exactly what had happened and showed me the artifacts of the Masonry that she kept, including the apron, all the memorabilia, the regale and whatnot.
That most of the children who came from these kind of backgrounds have been created in a ritualistic way. So that is a big part of it. In that respect, when I was being created that way, my mom actually stopped the ritual because she was not only scared, but she decided that it wasn't the right thing to do. So she interrupted the ritual. So, which was a big deal at the time when it happened. But for some reason, it kind of changed the whole outcome and the frequencies, which they were kind of trying to keep.
Whenever you get into the Scottish rites, after becoming a 33rd degree, there are several steps that go through the Scottish rites, which includes the child sacrifice. All right. That's when you become a Shriner. Okay. And I don't think most people know this. The lodges, people that are Shriners in the Masonic Brotherhood, they become Shriners, and they wear these fezzes that are red with the Muslim crest emboldened on it. Okay. And where it gets its red color from is actually being dipped into the blood of children.
One thing which they're lacking, and that's what I found out in all my travels and all my research, is they have no empathy. Of course, we know that.
Yeah.
So, and they don't have that human link, that kind of what makes us human. So to be connected to each other with this, which is love, and which is the unity which we have. And they really don't have that as such. They're like literally like reptiles who would just kill each other, you know, for the sake of power.
Yeah.
And that's what I, for those kind of years, that I felt almost pity, you know, so I felt almost like you quite sad individuals, because you don't have really that kind of stronghold. All you have is the knowledge which was held from humans to enable us to reclaim our power, you know. So, and that's a big part of that. So all their secrecy is based basically on keeping humans in the dark.
My maternal grandfather, John Roland Wright, was a 33rd degree Master Mason entering into the Scottish Rites. He started in the Masonry when he was 20 years old, and it took him 25 years in order to attain that rank of 33rd degree Master Mason.